Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Another ECM repair, this time in a marine computer. This is a MEFI 3 sent to me by David Stanow from Georgia. It says fuel pump dead. That's all he described. This for the markings in here because I have not much information or serial or anything. This is looks like a Volvo Penta 5.0. Yes, so I want to first reproduce the customer concern. Again, I'm very familiar with this computer, so everything should come on. Let me, actually, I have another test slide that I was using for another test in here. This is for a Mercruiser coil system, but please disregard that one. So this is the fuel pump actuation. This should come on right here as I turn the power on the way that I have it set up, because I'm providing the ignition and the power at the same time. And like that is almost like in the boat. So when this is turned on, that should come on. And it didn't. That should do the prime, then turn off. We got the 5-volt reference, which is good. The computer is alive and I think it's talking. So let's try to run the computer. And this is an EST system. So we can see that as a Volvo Penta, right? So we can put 45 hertz. That's what I use. Let me reconnect to the diacom. Again, I was doing a test on another computer on a Mercruiser. Yeah, this is calibration 9014. We got 0 faults. As far as the computer, the fuel pump output is on. So if computer is commanded it on, but nothing is happening. So I can definitely reproduce that. I have another computer in here, which is the same FE3 that I want to show you how this should work normally. So, and then we know as a fact that his computer is definitely not working properly. All right, so let me put you guys in a tripod. I'll be right back. Like that, I can keep you there, and you can see that I have a David is still connected. So let me, we're in idle, everything is good. So let me turn this off, turn the power off. We're losing communication. I think you guys can pick that up from there. I want to turn the lamp on in here so I can at least see. So I'm going to disconnect his, put him in here, and then I'm going to connect mine, J1 and J2. Again, focus in here. This is the fuel pump. Everything is off. Power on. Fuel pump prime, and then goes off. Right there is exactly telling me that their diagnostics is 100%. Now let's run the computer. I'm going to do the same thing. Set up the idle to 45 hertz. We can see the fuel pump on, injectors are on. Everything else on his computer is working the same. And this is an ESC signal because I have right now both systems connected. Like if this will be a Mercruiser that uses a pickup pole and a distributor, then the other test light will be on. Since this one is the one is on, that tells me that this computer uses the same EST system, the same signals as this Volvo Penta. It can be a bigger engine or so, doesn't matter. But everything else is the same. I can just reconnect because we lost the communication because I turned off and now I reconnect. It's giving me a complete different calibration number. Obviously, it's a different computer, but we see everything. We got the 5-volt reference. This computer, my computer, is working 100%, and we can see the fuel pump activation. So I'm going to open his computer and start doing some tests through the computer to see the circuitry with the curve tracer. So I will probably move you guys over there. I can remove all these leads and everything. So let me get organized and I'll be right back, okay? All right, guys, good news actually for David. Uh, Let me just remember his last name, Stanow in Georgia. Well, you can see now the fuel pump relay, it is running. I mean, it's working. Oh my God, this was a hard repair. I'm gonna tell you something. This was very difficult, very small. There is some corrosion inside the um, module itself. I know that this has a gel inside and it's covering that, but it's still, you know, if grounds are no good, it kind of like creates a corrosion onto the board. But right now it's working. So let me turn the Computer off. I've been running it not for too long. As you see, 5 minutes, no faults. Hopefully, Dominic can see this video. When you have a good calibration, you see how the minutes are minutes and seconds are seconds. In his, when the seconds are passing, it's like almost like minutes are passing. Even though the engine running time is correct, the engine hours are calculated wrong. And that is the maps. It's not that I can do. Those are software maps, so something happened with his. But coming back to this one, make sure our values or my values are correct in here. Let me see. I have 14 point something. Let me change the map to 12.6. That's what I like to keep in idle. 12.5.6. TPS a little in the low side. I like to keep it around 5%. I'm changing the coolant temperature. Run nav. So let me adjust all the values normally. 160, 170, that's fine. And then here around 5%. All right, so that's perfect. Each boat is going to be different. This is a 5.0 Volvo Penta, so different obviously than a Mercruiser. All right, so let's turn this off. So when I come back, you'll see that the pump will turn off and it's exactly as supposed to. If I turn everything off, you will see that we lost communication in a second. You see synchronizing. When I turn off, the pump should come for a second and prime, and then that is normal operation. So everything that he was having issues is now completely solved. Again, very hard repair. Sometimes is, I mean, impossible to repair these computers. Give me 1 second. I was saying that sometimes it's impossible to repair these computers. Let me just show you a little bit of what I have done for David, because I mean, this is, I spent, I don't know, maybe 8 hours on this computer itself. Let me make sure I am not putting my information in here. So I want to show you a lot of stuff and not all the stuff, because I know there is a lot of people that wants to try to do himself, and that's not what I'm trying to show here. All right, so this is not his. Let me turn this one off. This is the computer itself. So this is the bore area that I needed to clean in order to, actually that's my computer, but it's okay. It's a good guinea pig. So this is the driver for the fuel pump. It goes through this diode and then over to J223, which I think is the fuel pump. And I have that in here. Let me just put a picture as well. Let me just 1 second so I'm not showing his information. Fuel pump. I think it's maybe J123. Let me see. J120. Yep. So it's J1, not J2. All right. So we can see right here, J123 fuel pump relay driver. All right. So that's what we have here. So J, J123 will come here, enter this driver. All that was good. Nothing, because if it would be this driver, I would have condemned the computer non repairable. But in his computer, these pads goes under. You see, like we have in here a multiple layer board. So as you see, they go here and it's stop because they put another layer. It's kind of like a I don't know, like a epoxy or something like that. They put a layer. Let's say it's epoxy just to, I mean, we don't care what kind of material it is, but yeah, so it's a different layer. And now they print the rest and they connect these dots. Obviously, that's done with a robot or other technique, definitely not man-made, right? But so when these start to get corroded, then you lose communication because let's say, the signal is coming from the microprocessor, which is right here, that kind of like pink crystal IC that is covered on in the same black goo around, and then all the signals are entering in there. So when corrosion goes in these connections, it's kind of like a broken wire, and now the signal from the microprocessor was not reaching the IC for the fuel pump. I did replace everything else that is part of that system just to make sure that it lasts a long time, but now it's working properly. And I have to put, cement, the green cement hole the jumpers that I'm putting in there. It might not look like the best, and I'm sure if you will be able to see in there, but and I have the epoxy to another epoxy, the gel, because I have also um, I will probably show you when I'm done, or maybe add a picture of how this will look cover. And it's a re-enterable gel. That's exactly what we got here, and that's what I remove. That gel is very sticky, but I have it as a two-part that you can mix, and it will just put them in a level surface, let it dry 10 minutes, and that's cure. And it takes like 24 hours to cure, but it is cured that it will not move in 10 minutes. And then after that, even after 24 hours, you can re-enter your test and poke the computer, let's say. But yeah, everything is good. So one more time for David and for all of you. Ignition off. We lost the communication, obviously. Ignition back on. Fuel pump prime. And then let's run the computer. And we can see the fuel pump relay actuation. And that is almost a 1 amp light. So if it can hold that one, it's in perfect shape. A relay usually draws less than 400 milliamps in the control side because this is on the control side of the relay, but that's it, right? So all is good, David. Thank you so much for sending me your computer, for trusting in Mike Salazar Diagnostics. As you can see, guys, I know what I'm doing. And if I condemn a computer as not repairable, it's because I do the homework. I am not perfect. I can make mistakes. I'm a human, but I try to give correct information. And when I'm wrong, I stated that I was wrong and I corrected and try to make sure that when I give the information goes out the right way. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any computers that you need to repair, marine or automotive, please contact me. Just go over to my website. Let me just put a small commercial here before I close the video. This is my website. Just look for that same name, Mike Salazar Diagnostics, and you can see right there it's MikeSalazarDiagnostics.com. And yes, that's how I say my name and how it sounds. It's Mike, like Mike. It spells different. It's just a Latino thing, right? But yeah, that's the name that my dad and my mom put to me, and I will respect to keep it for the rest of my life or all my life. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.